Hey guys, it's Grey Wolf here. I'm doing a hardcore video. You're probably asking yourself, Grey Wolf, what is a hardcore mode on Construction Simulator? Well, I'm about to tell you. But first, we need to make a new profile because nothing is more hardcore than starting a whole new profile from scratch. This is the most hardcore looking dude on the entire roster. He looks uber brutal with that black background. And of course, we need to name this Grey Wolf. It wouldn't make any sense. What's more brutal than naming it your own name? And the company name? Hardcore. That's so brutal. Now let me break down exactly what hardcore mode is.
Of course, I'm not hardcore enough to not cloud sync. That would be kind of stupid.
Alright, so hardcore mode, we use 45-minute finance cycle. It's so brutal. Traffic violations are enabled. That way if we run red lights or car crashes, we get charged. Also, you cannot spend any of your skill points on the skill tree. Somewhere in Germany. Look at this German town, it's so hardcore. Our construction company's really gonna be blasting some awesome machines around these streets. Digging up dirt, hauling stone, pouring cement, and laying frames. Brutal. It's gonna be so hardcore. Also, to make it hardcore, we have to increase the steering sensitivity to the max. And decrease the UI all the way so that the buttons are very tiny. Tiny buttons are brutal. So hardcore. This will make it extremely hard to navigate the vehicle without crashing into other vehicles and adds a layer of hardcoreness to the game. No minimap either. And also turn off your cargo identifiers. That way you have no idea where to put your hook. It's based completely on your skill. So brutal. Now once that's all set, you're ready to play hardcore mode. But here's a modifier. You cannot fast travel, which means you have to drive from location to location. Brutal. And since you can't use any points in your skill tree, there will be no easy dumping of the dirt in the back of the dump truck or quick filling the cement truck. Brutal, so brutal. This really makes it hardcore. Now we're off to our construction company's headquarters. And since we're doing a tutorial, you're gonna find out just how hard it is to play hardcore mode. Another hardcore modifier, placing objects must be at least 90% within their object placement shadow. You're wondering what that is? I'll show you. So hardcore. When using the excavator or crane, you'll have to use cab view. If you use any other view, it will have to be orbit camera. Now let me lay down the rules one more time. Only this time visual helpers so that you understand how hardcore this mode is. So brutal. 1. 45-minute finance cycle. 2. Traffic violations on. 3. Steering sensitivity max. 4. UI visual minimum. 5. Visual cargo helper turn off. Visual helper. 6. No fast travel. No quick refill of the cement. And no quick offload of the soil. So not hardcore. And number 7. Only using orbit camera or cab view while utilizing your vehicles. And no hook view. That's not hardcore enough. Now let's get back to the hardcoreness. Yeah! Who's ready to repair a roof? Repair a roof! It's gonna be so hardcore. As you can see, we have to follow these giant hardcore blue arrows. They're like floating ghosts, directing us down the dark alleys of these streets. Make sure not to run a red light. That's so not cool. And with traffic violations on, we'll get charged for violating that. Now back to the brutal driving down the road. Make sure you watch out for traffic, cause they're not watching out for you. No! Now once we get to the base, we'll finally lay down for a nap. Nap time! So tired from all this driving. Nap time is hardcore. So brutal. As you can see, there's gonna be some repairs needed on the building, but we'll do that in the morning. Yeah, after nap time. Nap time. The next morning. Day and night cycle is so hardcore. Now that nap time is over, let's get to work. Get to work. What in the HE double hell happened to our roof? Brutal disrepair. So dilapidated. Now that the roof is stripped, it's time to get our materials. But they're so far away. Not hardcore. The spectral arrows show us exactly where the materials are. Let's get over there! Now you'll notice that I'm not using the hook camera, and I also have cargo indicators off. And setting material must be at least 90% on the spot before you detach the cargo, because only then is it hardcore mode. Now, once we get this stuff loaded, we're gonna get right back to construction. And the first thing we're gonna need are those doom bricks, brutal bricks, up on top of the roof. Let's get them there! Also, no resetting your vehicle. That's for noobs. For noobs. If you're playing hardcore mode, then you have to do everything yourself. Self-sufficient. Now let's get this cargo detached and on top of the roof. As you can see, the blue markers indicate exactly where we need to put the material. Wow, you speak really fast. So hardcore. Now once the doom bricks are in place, we'll be able to lay the frame. That way we can lay the bricks and the roof will be complete. Now enjoy some brutal music while I show you exactly how to lay frame. And going by the 90% rule, enjoy. Time for another nap! Another nap! Nap time is so hardcore! Brutal! Time for us to get the backhoe! This is the Caterpillar 430F2! 430F2! Let's bring it back to the home base and start excavating. Just remember, use orbit camera or cab view when playing in hardcore mode. Hardcore! Now with steering sensitivity turned all the way up, driving can be extra brutal, hardcore, extra hardcore brutal. So make sure to be super careful, because you will run out of money by crashing into things. Now let's get to the home base safe and sound. The green light gods have been good to me. Just make sure you never upset the red light gods. They're unforgiving. Unforgiving. Now it's time to do some excavation, replace some broken pipes. Replacing broken pipes. Once we clear this out, we'll be using the hook function of the excavator's bucket to remove the broken pipe. Get out of here! Now let's remove this dirty broken pipe and put the new brand new green one in. It's brutal green. Using the hook function of the excavator, it acts like a tiny crane. Tiny crane. Now use the wheel loader function as a bulldozer. Cover up your mess. And remember, you can use the wheel loader as a bulldozer. That's so brutal. This will help a lot when you have to clear land and flatten soil. Use the wheel loader as a bulldozer to pile up the dirt and then scoop it up to dump it off in the dump truck. And remember, no points are allowed to go into the skill tree once you level up. And it's only hardcore mode if you drive the dump truck to the gravel plant. To the gravel plant! Now for our next brutal song and our next brutal contract. We're gonna be moving hay bales. Oh no! So hardcore! Look both ways before driving in the road. Never know what kind of brutal vehicle's gonna come out of nowhere and hit you. Unpredictable. Now that we have all this money, we need to spend it on vehicles. Frivolous spending. So hardcore. After we purchase ourselves a couple of new machines, the local farmer needs help. Haul hay bales from one farm to the other. Codependency is brutal. But we're a construction company and we'll take anything that we can get right now. Small jobs now mean big jobs later. Big jobs. So hardcore. Now as you can see, after we bought those two new vehicles, we only have $5,000 left. Wow! So this is the only contract technically I could accept, because it doesn't require any material. No money from material is brutal, so hardcore. And we'll need to complete this contract pretty quickly, because the finance cycle's catching up, and that just means more bills to pay. Bills are brutal, so hardcore. Now once we get these hay bales stacked on the back of the truck, we're gonna chain them down. Chains of oppression. Then we'll take these new hay bales over to the rightful home, the opposite side of town. Opposite side. Time for a drive. Get on the truck already. God. Here's our first month's revenue. We're in the red. Red is brutal. So hardcore. We earned $45,000 in achievements alone. $51,000 from job revenues. Our vehicle purchases were $115,000. I got a traffic ticket for running a red light. This finance cycle's brutal. Hardcore mode is hardcore. Can you survive it? Placing hay bales can be brutally boring. Let's get to the real construction stuff. Our next task is gonna be stratifying. Since I don't have enough money to buy one, I'm gonna have to rent a vehicle. After we rent the vehicle, we'll drive it to the construction site. Stratify. Stratifying sounds so brutal. It's like drawing lines in the dirt, but way more hardcore. Now remember, we have to use cab view or orbit camera when driving. Otherwise, you're not playing hardcore enough. Not hardcore enough. Watch out for pedestrians. They get the right of way. Check both ways before running into the street. You never know what kind of vehicle's gonna come out of nowhere. Watch out for people in minivans. But way hardcore. Look at this brutal black minivan. He probably does a deep guttural. The vehicles will slam into you if you're not careful. Unforgiving. And with traffic violations on, your company will suffer. Suffering is way too hardcore. Now that we've made it safely to the vehicle dealer, it's time to rent ourselves a stratifier, otherwise known as a moto grader. With such little funds in our company bank, we'll have to wait before we buy one. Renting can be so brutal. Oh. This machine is so awesome. The interiors are all realistic to the actual machines. And with all this window, everyone can see me do some brutal headbanging. Yeah! All while I'm stratifying. And since it has four wheels, we can drive it directly to the job site. And remember, there's no such thing as fast travel in hardcore mode. Almost sideswiped that vehicle. Maxed out steering sensitivity is brutal. Finally, drawing lines in the dirt. We're really showing this soil who's boss. We're boss. Yeah, with our case. 856C moto grader. We are king of the construction site, and the crown is our blinky light. So hardcore. That blinky light is brutal. No need to stratify in a straight line. Straight lines are for wimps. We're hardcore. If you really want a challenge, try to stratify an X. Or stratify Zach Efron's face in the dirt. It's so brutal. It looks so hardcore. Now, we're all finished stratifying. So tune in next week for our next most brutal contract, the workshop. It's a special job that's gonna require a lot of work. So we're bringing on the Case 321F. Wheel loader. Look at how small it is. It's so cute. It's brutal. We'll also have to introduce the Levier L124 erecting crane and lots of material, including doom bricks, brutal boards, and cement works. Also hardcore. If you haven't yet, what are you waiting for? Get to work. Start your own hardcore profile today. And tune in next week to see just how hardcore this contract can be. Like and subscribe, and follow us on Construction Simulator 3 on Instagram. If you don't, you're so not hardcore enough.